I'd like to call this meeting to order.
Okay, Mr. Anderson?
Here.
Mr. Castillo?
Here.
Ms. Gill?
Here.
Ms. Russell? And Mr. Webb?
Here.
Thank you.
Thanks. Please join us for the Pledge of Allegiance. I take a motion to adopt the agenda as presented.
So moved.
Thank you, Mr. Webster. Second.
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Anderson. All in favor? Aye. Opposed or abstained? Great. We'll now move on to our item 2.01, our FCCPS backpack program. Good afternoon.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to our board meeting tonight on November 12th. I'd like to invite up to the table, if I could, Robin Borum and Richard Kane, who are going to be highlighted in tonight's video. And I want to welcome them both for being here, two extremely integral parts of our community here in the City of Falls Church Schools that help us every day develop and build our community of care and our caring culture. And so this evening, the Spotlight on Learning is going to be about the backpack program that both of them are intimately involved with. So with that, I'll let John roll the video, and then if you have any questions or comments afterwards.
The backpack program started about 11 or 12 years ago when I went to the school board expressing a concern about a need for people on free and reduced lunch to have a little additional support. So what we do in the backpack program is we supply them with any food that you would get from your local supermarket. Fresh meat. We actually give them chicken breast, whole muscle. None of it is pre-cooked. We give them fresh produce.
The foods we pack for the parents is perishable. For example, the eggs, dairy products, but it's always refrigerated until the point where they get it home. It's like if you go to the grocery store, you will have it in the bags, you put it in the car, and then when you get home, you put it in the fridge. Since we have the students in our system, we get information from the nurse. For example, if they have nut allergies or if they have a dietary restriction. So according to that, we customize their boxes. For example, we have a family who cannot have pork, so we make sure that there is no pork products in their box.
No, if you're hungry, you can't think about math. Sometimes they may be worried that they're not going to have anything to eat, or sometimes their stomach is just growling so much that it distracts them. We may hear from students themselves that they didn't eat breakfast that morning, or that they're really hungry and they want to save some of their lunch to take home for snack later. And so that would prompt a school social worker to ask some more questions about what's going on at home. That reaches a lot of children who have already signed up as needing that kind of assistance through the free and reduced lunch program. We often have families that are not receiving free and reduced lunch that also need some help with food. Families might call us about assistance because they have lost a job, or when a lot of our families were furloughed with the government, they would call and say, gee, this is what I'm going through. Are there any resources you can help me with? Maybe their families had a medical emergency, and so they're calling for help and resources on that level. But once we're talking to them about what other resources they need, we can always say, so how are you with food? And I think it really shows that not only do we want to feed your child and make sure they're healthy at school, but we want to help your whole family. We want to make sure you have food on the weekends and on the holidays. And this is not just for your student, this is for your family. That we are thinking of you as a part of our community. We're not just thinking of your student.
So I'll actually invite Richard and Robin to say a few words if you'd like, and then perhaps the board might have some comments and questions.
First, I would like to say thank you for allowing us to present this program to the community. Is well needed, and I have to say this is the first year that we have the most amount of backpacks since we started the program about 11 years ago. And I think a large part of that is due, in fact, to the collaboration that I have with the social workers, with the Resource Center. And Erica, kudos to Erica over there at the Resource Center, who has become a partner in the community to where they trust her to where we can get more backpacks out to the community. And I feel like they're coming now every couple of weeks somebody joins. So it's something that is truly needed, and I thank you guys, the school board and the superintendent, for the support that they've given to the community for this. So.
And thank you to Richard, especially, and his staff. I mean, really, they do the majority of the work. We refer people to him, and he helps to set that up. But we also have found other ways to get the food to the families, which I think has been helpful. The Family Assistance Fund has been able to fund grocery trolleys so that when families who don't drive come to pick those up, we are able to help them load the food into their grocery trolley and then walk it home. So that's been a help as well. But thank you, Richard.
Open up to the board for any questions or comments. Ms. Russell.
I guess mine is more of a comment. First of all, I just have to say I'm a huge Richard Kane fan. I remember when I first met Richard like 10 years ago, and your passion for your job and for the schools and the constant, I guess, making things better for us, coming up with new innovative ideas, and just the way you care so much about our kids and the community and the families is much appreciated. So 10 years later, still a big Richard Kane fan. But second of all, I do want to comment on the Family Resource Center. I was lucky enough to go to the open house last week, and I do think that that's a tremendous asset for our community, and I think that it pairs perfectly what Richard has been trying to do, and I'm glad to hear that it has continued to grow your outreach efforts. So I think that that's a wonderful partnership, and I'm really excited to see those additional, I guess, aspects of coming to fruition in terms of that initiative. So thank you. And thank you to you, Robin, too. I'm a big fan of yours, too.
I'm just curious, once a family we become aware of them, are we able to continue to serve them, or is it sort of a one-time need, or once we've become aware of them, is it a continuous effort to serve them with food?
It is not a one-time need. If they need something throughout the whole school year, we provide it for them. So we let the families tell us when they need it. Like, we have families that go throughout the whole summer. So it depends on their needs. Some don't want it for the weekend. Some only want it for the holidays. It's really customized towards what the family feel that they need.
But I also think the more recently, most families have been picking it up on Fridays, every Friday, and using that for the weekend and really throughout the week. There is a lot of food that goes into the backpack, and our families really rely on that to even past the weekend and into the week. So that's what I'm hearing, at least. Thank you.
So with these families, how do you all advertise the program, and how do they potentially get the information about that this is even an option for them to pick up something over the weekend, or however they see fit to use it?
The program is advertised in a number of ways. First of all, when they fill out the free and reduced lunch application, once they are qualified for free and reduced lunch, when I send them the letter, they also get a letter about the backpack program. Second of all, the social workers, when they come in contact with the families, they make them aware of the backpack program. And then we have the the Family Resource Center, where Erica also evangelizes the backpack program out into the community. And then if those three ways doesn't work, we also have all the counselors who are aware of the backpack program, and also the principals.
So I also want to say thank you very much, and I'm really glad we can do this. My question, I guess I have two, which is, Richard, you were saying this year is the highest number you've had. Is that because people are more aware of it, because there's more need, because there's more ability to identify folks who have the need? What do you think's driving that one?
I think a lot of it has to do with the Resource Center, because she's her job is specifically there to help them. So when you have a full-time person who's willing to help families, it's a little different than somebody you only meet every once in a while. And I think in collaboration with the social workers who are also meeting families in need, I think that also helps, encourages people to apply a little bit more because they see them every day. To see me, they only see me when they fill out the applications or I got a question, but they have an actual face like Erica that they get to see a lot of times. So you build a relationship with that individual.
And then I guess I'd just like to ask one more follow-up, which is sort of what are your biggest limiters at this point? What's the limitation to what you can provide?
On providing the backpacks. Right now, we haven't come across a limitation to supply them with food. I just recently had to, on the back end, reorganize how the food gets to it because everybody's picking TJ to pick up their food from, which is overloading my manager there. So what we've done is I instructed another school to make half of them, and then we're transported over there so one person or one team isn't overwhelmed. So as far as from the parent side of things, I haven't run into any limitations as of yet.
Yes, I agree with that too, that we have more families coming to TJ now. One, because the Family Resource Center is there, but then also because really that is the closest place to where our families live in the community. And so, again, like one of the things that's been helpful, I think, has been them being able to walk there to get the food, and then also with the grocery trolley and, meeting us there at TJ to actually get the food, go down with them, get it with them from Jennifer, helping them to take it out. I think all of that's been helpful, and one of the ways that we've been able to do it even more because we've opened it up and they're able to get it at TJ now.
I did just think of one limitation, but I think it's more on the parent side, and it's they want to pick up the backpack too late, and we try to make every arrangement we can for them to pick it up. So, but nobody's around at 6 o'clock in the evening, so that's the only limitation, And that's the first time that's come up. Usually between whatever hours they want to pick it up, we make arrangements so they can come get it.
Yeah, thank you for doing this. I think this is, it's both a sad commentary on our society and also a great testament that we're managing to do this. I noticed recently the Trump administration has a proposed rule that will cut eligibility potentially for 500,000, I believe, children who were on the SNAP program now. Any idea if that actually goes through, what kind of impact it might have, and are we thinking about how we'd respond?
According to the guidance that I get from USDA and the state nutrition director, even if it passes this year, it will not impact any families who are currently on the program. And that's the only direction that they have given us so far. The impact that it would have next year, I don't know how that would work out. No, hopefully everybody gets out and vote.
I can just add to that. Insofar as we got a briefing from the policy advocate for AASA, which is the American Association of School Administrators, regarding the public assistance uptake and sort of what the consequence of that will be. And right now we're kind of in a wait and see, but there is an expectation that over time fewer people will take up public assistance as a consequence. And so, again, we'll have to wait and see, but we are part of the reason that we're building an infrastructure like we are, I think, with Erica and the Family Resource Center, is to build relationships with our families so that if there is some concern, that we're able to mitigate some of that concern by having those relationships in place and established.
And if I can add one more thing to Dr. Noonan,